Thanksgiving, a time typically celebrated for gathering around the dinner table, sharing food, and making memories with family, has become the epicenter for intense political division in America. The divide over political views, particularly around the 2020 presidential election, has left a lasting impact on family dynamics. In the aftermath of Donald Trump's loss to Joe Biden, many American families are grappling with the fallout, some in a way that is more divisive than ever. Trump supporters are finding themselves shunned, not just by strangers or political opponents, but by their own flesh and blood. This Thanksgiving, instead of peaceful gatherings and holiday cheer, some families are facing hurt feelings, deep divides, and outright rejection as they find themselves at odds with their loved ones over their vote for the former president. As the country navigates the complexities of a polarizing political environment, many families are dealing with the painful consequences of their choices at the ballot box. In this video, we explore the heartbreaking and controversial stories of individuals who have become estranged from family members over their political views, particularly those who cast their votes for Donald Trump. From canceled Thanksgiving dinners to children choosing not to spend the holidays with their parents, these are real, personal stories of how politics has reshaped relationships within families. But what does this mean for the future of American society, and is there any way to heal these rifts? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to reaching 5,000 subscribers, but we can't do it without you. So, if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe right now. And if you're already subscribed, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment to let me know your thoughts. Alright, let's dive right into it. A nation divided. The aftermath of Trump's election loss. The 2020 presidential election brought about unprecedented political polarization in America. Donald Trump, whose rhetoric had always stirred controversy, faced off against Joe Biden in a battle that was more than just about politics. It became about identity. Supporters of Trump saw his victory as vital to preserving their vision of America, while Biden's supporters saw him as the last hope for restoring decency and democratic values. As Election Day drew closer, it became clear that the nation was sharply divided. The sense of us versus them grew stronger, particularly for Trump supporters, who rallied behind his claims of electoral fraud and his unwavering stance on draining the swamp. The fallout from the election was not only political, but personal. For many Trump voters, the consequences of their vote were felt most profoundly within their own families. They're not coming for Thanksgiving. The stories of estranged families. One of the most striking consequences of the political divide has been the number of families fractured by differing political opinions. Stories abound of children, parents, and extended family members choosing to boycott Thanksgiving dinners, or even cutting ties altogether due to their political differences. Take the case of one Trump supporter from Oregon, who shared his frustration on social media. My 3 daughters all voted for Kamala Harris in Oregon, a state that gave all of its electoral college votes to Harris. 2 of them have now stopped speaking to me, and one is boycotting Thanksgiving because I voted for Trump. This father was devastated, explaining that he never tried to convince his daughters to vote for Trump, but his support for the former president led to deep rifts that resulted in him being cut off. It sucks that I must now suffer their childish and frankly rude behavior merely because they believe my one vote harmed them or their rights in some way, he wrote. This sentiment has been echoed by countless Trump supporters who have found themselves alone this holiday season. For some, the rejection by family members is a source of immense pain, as they feel their love and loyalty to their families should outweigh political differences. Yet for others, the rejection feels like the inevitable result of voting for a man they believe embodies their values, even if those values have come under scrutiny for their controversial policies. Reproductive rights, LGBTQ+ rights, and the environment. The deep rifts. The reasons for these Thanksgiving boycotts are not solely based on political ideology. They run much deeper, touching on issues of personal rights and freedoms. In the case of one individual, their children, who are young adults, felt deeply betrayed by the family's vote for Trump. They know the family voted against the environment, which they will have to deal with, this individual shared. My daughter's reproductive rights were also put at risk by their vote. They voted against their friends who are LGBTQ+, and they told me it was hypocritical that they were so religious and voted for a man who broke every one of the 10 Commandments. This mother explained that her children have since expressed their anger and disappointment, leading to the estrangement. For many young people, the issue of reproductive rights, particularly for women, is a major point of contention. The 2020 election and subsequent political developments around abortion rights have created a sense of urgency among those who fear their personal freedoms will be stripped away. Trump's policies and rhetoric surrounding women's rights have only deepened the divide, leading some family members to feel that a vote for Trump was not just a political decision, but a personal affront to their identities and rights. LGBTQ+ rights have also been a point of contention. For many families, a vote for Trump felt like a vote against their LGBTQ+ family members. This has led to harsh consequences, with some individuals choosing to sever ties with family members who supported the former president. The LGBTQ+ community, already facing challenges in a society that has been slow to accept them, sees Trump's policies as a direct threat to their rights. The issue of environmental policy also looms large. For younger generations who have grown up with the looming threat of climate change, Trump's denial of climate science and withdrawal from the Paris Agreement was not just a political decision, it was a declaration of disregard for their future. The struggle to heal. Is reconciliation possible? Despite the deep divides, there are individuals who are trying to heal the rifts in their families. Some are taking a more measured approach, trying to engage in civil discourse and seek common ground. One Trump supporter, facing rejection from family members, shared their thoughts on the importance of communication. "I don't lie to my kids at all, nor do I isolate them from my MAGA family members. Doing that turns them into forbidden knowledge and makes kids curious as to why it's being forbidden. I talk with my kids and offer a counterpoint to what's being said." This approach, which encourages open dialogue, is a way for some families to bridge the gap without compromising their core values. It's not about convincing others to change their minds, but about understanding where they're coming from and allowing space for respectful disagreement. But for many, the rifts are too deep to heal. For one individual, the decision to sever ties with a parent who supported Trump was a matter of safety. "I cut my in-laws out of my life because they voted against my reproductive rights, against my LGBTQ+ friends, and against my future. My kids are young adults, and they thanked me for keeping them safe." In many cases, the rejection isn't just about politics. It's about deeply held values and the sense of betrayal that comes with supporting a man who has been accused of sexual assault, found guilty of fraud, and involved in a host of other legal and ethical scandals. For many, Trump's actions and rhetoric have made it impossible to reconcile with family members who still support him. The bigger picture. What this means for America. The Thanksgiving chaos and the fallout from Trump's election loss are more than just family squabbles. They reflect a larger cultural and political divide that is growing wider each year. For many, the inability to reconcile with family over politics is a sign of the breakdown of American society. The question of whether it is possible to heal these divisions remains unanswered, but it is clear that the consequences of the Trump presidency will continue to reverberate through families for years to come. For those who have chosen to cut ties with their Trump-supporting relatives, the decision is not made lightly. It's a painful choice, but for many, it's a necessary one. As one person shared, "I'll go to Thanksgiving if my brother pulls that stunt again, but I won't speak to him or his family after that." This year's Thanksgiving will likely be remembered as a moment in history when the political divide reached its zenith. Families are no longer just divided by policy. Many are divided by their values, by their sense of justice, and by their commitment to preserving rights and freedoms for all. The Thanksgiving chaos we are witnessing this year is a painful reflection of how deep the political divide has become in America. For many families, the aftermath of the 2020 election has been more than just a political disagreement. It's been a betrayal. Trump supporters have found themselves shunned by loved ones who view their vote as an affront to basic rights and values. As we look ahead, the challenge for America is not just about healing the political divide, but about understanding how to bridge the gap between families and individuals who see the world through such vastly different lenses. While some are working to repair their relationships, others are deciding that some lines are simply too deep to cross. This Thanksgiving, the fractures in American society are on full display, and the question remains, can we heal, or will the rifts only continue to widen?